What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another 4K Blu-ray review. And today's 4K takes us back to 1971 for the science fiction thriller, The Andromeda Strain. For the first time being available on 4K, Arrow Video again put out an exceptional set. Let's check it out. Standard Arrow Video slipcover. Inside, lone 4K disc. And as usual, we got this pamphlet with some information about the movie, as well as a short essay. And then, always in the back, how they restored it for 4K. Another solid Arrow Video release. I never saw this film before, though I have heard of it. It came out before I was born, and by the time I got into science fiction, I was mainly focused on some of the more recent films. With that being said, this film stands out because it came out in a time where there wasn't a lot of science fiction movies. There's not a lot of special effects in this, nor is there music. Instead, the actors were to sell the danger and the high stakes. And for that, I commend them because they did a pretty good job.
Yes. Dutton, I'm turning off the oxygen. Breathe fast and hard.
The Andromeda Strain is a solid science fiction thriller, and it moves pretty quick even though it's over 2 hours long. I've seen better science fiction movies over the years, but I can appreciate with what they were trying to do back then, with what little they had. Plus, it's a little creepy at times too, because you had that crying baby, and nobody knows how it got there, as well as the town drunk. And then at the same time, the scientists were throwing technical jargon at you at a mile a minute. Classic.
Worldwide epidemic. It's because of rash statements like that the president doesn't trust science. Warn the president, may already be too late. Stay on his back, Robbie. You've got to make him call a 712. Can you get me another?
I was not aware that this film was based off a Michael Crichton novel. I like a lot of his novels, and I like a lot of the films that they were adapted into. With that being said, I think this would be a fine candidate for a remake with more up-to-date effects as well as a newer cast. But, I mean, we've had a ton of these types of movies over the years, so I'm not really sure it would add anything. Let's get into it. When a military satellite falls into the small town of Piedmont, New Mexico, a small team goes in to recover the satellite, only to find all the residents dead, and then they end up dying too. A small band of expert scientists are called in to figure out what happened and why this satellite has some sort of alien entity attached to it. What they discover is a deadly pathogen that cannot be seen but yet is transmissible by airflow. On top of that, a crying baby and a drunk seems to have survived it and no one knows why.
What's been done for them?
Arrow Video went back to the camera negative for this 2:3:5:1 image in both Dolby Vision and HDR. The image looks pretty fantastic, especially since it's 54 years old and the bulk of the film takes place inside a dull-looking military facility. Outside shots looked gorgeous, of the small town of Piedmont, as well as the bright blue sky. There wasn't a lot of dimly lit shots, but I felt like the shadow detail was spot on for the most part. Facial tones looked true to life for that era of film, showing all of the actors' imperfections. 8 out of 10 on the video. I will say, I did like the camera style where it had like a picture-in-picture within the video. I thought that was pretty cool and something you didn't really see back in the 70s. Audio was presented in a mono track only, which, as you would expect, is not going to knock the socks off. It was fine for this type of movie, but I would have liked a new Atmos, or at least some sort of 5.1 track. With that being said, everything was crystal clear and clearly audible. 6 out of 10 on the audio. In terms of special features, you had an audio commentary track, as well as several documentaries, interviews, and some other featurettes. There was also an image gallery and some trailers. 8 out of 10 on the features. I wouldn't say this is a must-own disc, but it is Arrow Video, so it's a fine purchase for me. I give the film a 7 out of 10, but overall this release, 8 out of 10 from Arrow. Well, that's today's review. Come back again, see what else we're watching.
Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share, bruh.